There was a version of me who could disappear into a game for 12 hours and come out the other side genuinely happy. You knew that guy too. He'd grind the same cave for one rare Pokemon, with no particular reward, no reason, just because the world felt worth being inside. That guy is mostly gone, and I noticed it in the dumbest way possible. They re-released the old Black Ops games, the ones I used to play online with my mates until 3 AM. And I got so nostalgic I started watching a bit of gameplay of it. Just watching. And even while the nostalgia was hitting, some quiet part of me knew that if I actually jumped back in, it wouldn't feel the same. And not because the game changed, it's the exact same version from back in 2010 I believe, but I changed. The magic of those nights was never really the game. It was being 17 with my friends in the lobby. I can't buy my way back into that. And I sat with that for a second and felt the obvious scary thought. Am I now becoming a boring old man? Am I starting to lose some of the spark again that used to make life fun? And here's what I've since worked out, and it's the exact opposite of how it feels. You didn't lose the magic, you just outgrew the cheap version of it. The stuff that used to light you up stopped working, not because you're broken, but because you've already leveled way past it. And that flat, empty feeling you've been treating as a warning light is actually the game quietly telling you the tutorial is over. Now, let me be fair, because there's a real version of it's not me, it's them, and it's partly true. A lot of modern stuff genuinely did get more soulless, like the games especially. A big studio today can spend $300 million and somehow produce something with the personality of a hotel hallway. They chase graphics that look like real life, which is a strange goal when the entire point of a game was to escape real life. And then they also stand up for every single rough edge until the game just feels too sanitized. But here's the thing, and I say this as someone who could sit here for an hour ranting about it. Blaming the games is the comfortable answer, because it means nothing is being asked of you, and it's only half the story. The other half, the half you can actually do something with, is that you changed. You leveled up as a player, and the cheap loops stopped paying out. A level 70 Pokemon gains basically nothing from grinding the level 2 Zigzagoons in the starting grass. It's not that the grass got worse, it's that you got too strong for it. That's not decline, that's precisely what leveling up feels like from the inside. The old stuff that used to give you so much just quietly stops registering. Here's the distinction that unlocks the whole thing, and it's the difference between a distraction and an escape. Everyone needs some kind of distractions. Basically, no one raw dogs reality 24 hours a day with no off switch, and there's no shame in that. A good game, a good show, a good book, that's a genuine, healthy break. Anyone who tells you every waking second must be productive is a productivity influencer who is about to try to sell you a planner. The trouble starts when a distraction quietly curdles into an escape, and a lot of what used to fill you up was escape wearing the costume of fun. Here's how you know you leveled up. That escape stops working on you. You get on the game, you play for 45 minutes, you win a round, you unlock the new thing, and then out of nowhere your brain goes, wait, what the heck am I doing here? Why am I still here? That little voice rarely showed up when I was younger. It might even show up, but I was like, I just want to keep playing, and I'll be playing for like 4 hours. But now it interrupts me very quickly if I start playing video games. And of course, there's times where I go to a friend's house and we play for a couple hours. I won't feel that. But if I play anything myself, which I rarely do these days, basically the only thing I play is these games that you watch here on YouTube, I'll get that feeling. And most people read that interruption as the game being boring. It's not. That voice is your awareness finally strong enough to feel the emptiness in real time, mid-game, instead of noticing it years later. So why does growing feel so much like losing? Because the fake XP stopped counting and you don't have the real XP flowing in yet. You're standing in the gap. You've gotten too strong for the cheap stuff, and you've not yet plugged into anything real. A gap is emptied by definition, so it's very easy to misread that emptiness as I'm past my prime, or I used to be more fun, or the best part is behind me. That's the wrong story. It's just the tutorial ending before the next quest marker has loaded. And outgrowing something from the inside, it often just feels like a quiet, nah, I don't feel like playing this now. This is not so fun anymore. Bro, I don't want to do this anymore. That kind of deal. For me, it feels like yesterday I heard about Pokemon Legends Z-A, and I looked at it and I genuinely thought, this could be fun. This could even be good for the channel. Easy views, right? New game, people will watch it. And then I just didn't buy it. Not out of discipline, I didn't have some white-knuckling, no gaming rule. I'm just past it. I stopped chasing new Pokemon games a while ago, because I'd rather pour that time into building things that will still matter to me in 5 years. And here's the tell. I don't feel like I missed anything. That's what outgrowing actually looks like. I don't have FOMO, there's no fight about it. It's just a thing that used to have a grip on you that's letting go on its own. But there is a danger to this, and this is the part I actually want you to hear, because it's where the years go. You can sit in that gap forever, because the cheap dopamine is still right there. still one tap away. And even though it doesn't satisfy you anymore, it still numbs you. So the failure mode isn't some dramatic collapse. It's quieter and worse than that, because spending the next decade half-heartedly reaching for escapes that stopped working is kinda like chewing gum that lost its flavor an hour ago and you're refusing to spit it out. You keep waiting for the old magic to switch itself back on. It just won't anymore. The old game is over, and the new one does not start automatically. And this is the honest version of you're quote-unquote running out of time, is that the gap is comfortable enough to eat real years while you wait for a feeling that never comes back in that form. The empty scroll is happy to keep you company until you're 40. The clock is the only thing in this whole equation that doesn't care how you feel. So what actually goes in the gap? What actually gives real XP? Real XP has a signature, and you already know it when you feel it. It's usually slower to reward, a bit harder, and it changes you, not just a number on screen. Building an actual skill, making things instead of only consuming them. And relationships, which almost nobody frames as XP, but absolutely are. And here's the unsexy secret to those. Real friendship is mostly just being a regular somewhere until it stops being awkward. The same gym, the same class, the same group over and over. That's a grind too. It just levels the character that matters. And to be clear, this is not quit games, delete everything, become a monk. That's the opposite ditch, and it's a lie anyway, because a genuinely great game is art. And art is real XP. A masterpiece single-player game and a soulless daily grind loop are not the same species, just because they both run on the console. One levels you, and one numbs you. The whole skill is telling them apart and then choosing the one that gives real XP. So the move here is quite small. This week, when you reach for the escape, and feel that 45-minute emptiness hit, don't just push through it, hoping it passes. Treat it as the signal it is, and swap that one session for one thing that levels the real character. One rep of building instead of numbing. You don't have to overhaul your life. You just have to stop feeding fake cheese to a rat that's already outgrown it. So here's what I'd leave you with. That empty feeling was never proof you lost something. It was just proof you outgrew something. That flatness you've been quietly grieving is honestly the most hopeful signal you've had in years, because it means the cheap stuff can't hold you anymore, and that means you're finally ready for the real game. So don't spend the next 10 years trying to feel 9 years old again, because that kid who could vanish into a game for 12 hours, he wasn't magic because of the game, he was magic because he was all the way there, completely absorbed, fully playing. You can absolutely be that guy again, just not in the starter zone. So tell me in the comments, what's one thing that used to hit that just don't anymore? And then name one real XP thing you could use to replace that thing that doesn't hit anymore. The second one is where the actual game starts.